The biggest rule ever when it comes to being a teacher, you never, ever, never, ever put your hands on a child in anger. Never, ever. You don't hit a child, a student. You don't hit a child. You don't berate the child. If you do so, it's going to get you in a lot of trouble. As we're about to show you from this video. Good evening and welcome to Give Me a Break. I'm Jonathan Carmody. I'm about to show you a video. This video shows of an autistic student getting hit by two teachers. Two teachers hit an autistic child the other day, and it happened here in Texas. Welcome to Texas. You can carry a gun without a license. It's legal to spank, and teachers hit their kids. That is wrong. It is very wrong for a teacher to hit a child. You should never ever do that. And warning, the video which we're about to see is clearly inappropriate, and we let it stand. Here's David Sendery. Take a look at this.
The video shows a Millsap ISD educator appearing to slap at a child in a special needs classroom. The 10-year-old boy walks away until another educator yells at him.
I said come here.
The educator appears to repeatedly hit the child with a toy before throwing it at him.
I'm gonna hit you. Read that. Quit chewing on things.
Like my child can't speak. He can't come home and tell me, Mommy, they hit me, or Mommy, they're mean to me. Like, he's nonverbal.
Carissa Cornelius talking about her son, Alex, along with the boy's grandfather.
Our autistic children are some of the most vulnerable among us. And to see my grandson treated that way was just absolutely devastating.
Family says the incident happened in February, but initially, Millsap ISD only provided vague details.
I did not find out that this video existed for 10 or 11 days after.
Family says the video was recorded by another educator in the room.
That the person who took the video knew that the video needed to be taken is another indication to me that this has probably been going on for a while.
Millsap ISD says the educators involved were placed on administrative leave and are no longer employed by the district. Millsap ISD says it also reported the incident to local law enforcement, as well as Child Protective Services and the State Board for Educator Certification. It also utilized an outside investigator to investigate the allegations, which led to the Millsap Elementary School's principal and assistant principal being placed on administrative leave.
And my child should have never gone through that. It is unacceptable.
I'm gonna hit you. Read that.
In the video, Alex flinches away from the educators multiple times.
He doesn't flinch at us because we don't spank him. He doesn't get spanked. We don't use physical force to discipline him. He's at a 3-year-old level. What good does that do? It's special needs.
Alex's mother says working with special needs children is not for anybody.
It takes a very special person. It takes a lot of patience.
Still, she says there's no room for this behavior.
And for them to put their hands on my child is unacceptable.
Quit chewing on things.
So while the district says the educators involved are no longer with the district, it did not specifically say how many educators it's talking about. Obviously, we mentioned the 2 in that video, but it's unclear if other educators who were in that room were also disciplined or potentially let go from their jobs. I do want to point out, I spoke with the Parker County Sheriff's Office earlier today. It confirms to me there is an active investigation happening right now, but they say they cannot comment at this time on that investigation because it involves a minor.
It involves a minor. So we have 2 teachers being placed on administrative leave and 2 administrators. What does 2 plus 2 equal? That's right, 4. 4 people were placed on administrative leave. 2 were teachers, and one's the assistant principal, and one's the principal. Add it all together, that makes 4. 4 employees total were fired. They don't know how many? Well, I can tell you right now, it's 4. You need 4 people for a barbershop quartet. 4 people. That's how many it takes to make a bundle. 4. 4 spices. 4 spicy chicken sandwiches at McDonald's. That's a bundle. That's 4. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 people. 4 people that work with the school were fired. Now, let's look at the comments.
2 administrators.
2 administrators, and a teacher.
Administrators are on leave and other educators are off the job after videos surfaced of adult.
So let's take a look at the let's take a look at the comments. This got 13,000 views, and a lot of people are saying, I believe every classroom should have video in the rooms with codes for parents to access them during time the children are there. Poor little guy, adult bullies picking on a child, disgusting. You bird the adults but not the child? Well, they had to because it was a minor. This hurts my heart. Poor little guy. I hope this doesn't have lasting effects on him. Those two need to be locked up for good. This is heart-wrenching. Stinking cool society. So sick and disturbed. No matter if these people are fired or not, she still needs to sue them for emotional distress. Not only for the child, but for her and her family as well. These are some sick scumbags of the earth. They were allowed to resign and were not fired. The girl at him went to work for Weatherford ISD when the video was shared locally. The school put her on suspension pending an investigation, and she resigned until her certificate was taken away. She can still go to work with the children. Okay, so we're gonna talk about this a bit later. You know what? I need to take a break here because we're past the 6-minute mark. We're like 18 seconds past the 6-minute mark. We're gonna explain more when we come back. Please stay with us. As a teacher, your job is to make sure you teach your students. You don't ever hit or assault them. That can lead to parents finding out how disgusting it is, and it can lead to costing your jobs. So when we hear stories about children being hit by a teacher or by an adult, parents wonder to themselves, what's going on? Is there any evidence to prove it? Well, in this case, there was a video that surfaced at this high school, Fort Worth, Texas. It showed of a child being hit by 2 students, by 2 teachers. 2 of them were teachers, but 2 administrators were fired, were placed on leave, pending investigation. So that makes it 4. But here's what we learned so far. 1 of them is resigning. They say we're allowed to resign, but not fired. Abuse of the elderly or disabled is a state jail felony. Where is the local PD and District Attorney Sheriff's Department? This is why Texas needs autistic schools where there are special trained teachers. These teachers are beyond out of line. Kansas has these schools. So why can't Texas, and it's a bigger state? My daughter's autistic, and I'm afraid of her going to a regular school. Prison time. Sorry, Mom and Dad. Millsap ISD waited months and tried covering this up. I live in Weatherford next to Millsap. They also had a shooting not too long ago. That whole ISD needs to be fired or investigated. Why blur the faces? I got both their Facebooks and more than willing to share. Don't blur the victims. So, say their names. This makes me cry. This makes me cry. My son is nonverbal like him. What hurts more is that it seems like this has been going on. God help us. This is a reason why I never leave my kids alone. My son has autism, and this was always my fear. My son hasn't been bullied, but it's always on my mind. Why are you teachers? Why are you teachers if you don't enjoy being around these kids? OMG. No doubt of abuse. Why haven't they been arrested? Well, this has been investigated by the attorney, This was investigated by the police department. They investigate this, but they cannot comment. They blur the teachers, but they cannot blur the child. The child's a minor. If the child's a minor, then really you cannot be. If the child's a minor, you have to blur the face. But if there's adults present, then you can either blur the face or not blur the face. So, what does that tell you, boys and girls? It tells you that more needs to be done when it comes to people educating their kids. I am all for protecting our children. No doubt about it. I am all for protecting our children. But when it comes to education, we have to train teachers to, when it comes to autistic children and special education, We have to train teachers. I mean, months not enough. I mean, you get your teaching certificate when you learn all about autism. So if you want to be a special education teacher, you got to go through classes like, you shouldn't be doing this, you should be doing that. And even like this. Looks like they need to put some cameras inside the classrooms where teachers need to be wearing body camera. No excuse, shame on them. Take them to court. BS right, fight for his right. It breaks my heart. I have an autistic son, and that is my daily fear for him being mistreated or bullied. I pray for you and your family. I'm sorry for a little one. I'm sorry, little one. This world is disgusting and scary. It pisses me off. Prison. Nonverbal. The lady who was sitting and yelling at the kid is the principal's daughter. Talking about nepotism. I know the names of the people involved too. The blonde was the one standing who did the smacking and has been working there for years. That's the principal's daughter. Okay, well, all the people need to be stepping forward and saying to themselves, look, we didn't know what to do. Every person here, if you work for a school district, you are abided by the superintendent. The superintendent want to get a hold of this and look at us and go, what the hell is going on? Then this would take the cake. I have autism. And as someone who has been diagnosed with autism since I was 2 years old, I can tell you, it pisses me off. Like that previous comment says. Let me go back up here for a minute. Go back up to what this person says. We need autistic schools. Yes, we do. You know how full that school gets and the teacher turnover rate will be high? You have teachers barely can't deal with normal kids. We have goofy leaders in Texas. Our lieutenant governor is busy trying to rename the New York strip steak. Something different because New York is too liberal. This is not a joke, but our leaders are. I mean, we do need autistic schools with special teachers. But in laying a hand on a student, you cross the line. You don't ever hit a child. You lay a hand on a child, you cross the line, and that can really lead you to be getting in trouble. Big trouble. Big trouble. And clearly, it's stuff like this just makes me wonder what the hell's going on with our teachers. We pay teachers to teach, and yet we pay them to put their hands on our kids. When you send your child to school, you're wondering what's my teacher doing. And then we hear stuff like this happening, and it makes us angry. And it makes us sick. And schools saying their statements that, we cannot comment on this, this, and that. There is no this and that and the other. There is only what there is only now is nothing to be done. And I'll tell you this, if nothing is done, then nothing can be done. It's just that simple. It was just disgusting to look at. Project Baltimore. No, sorry about that. Baltimore County in Maryland, the state of Maryland, and education. If you mix education with the Baltimore State School District, with the Baltimore County School District, violence in schools would even rise up. Next, we're going to meet the superintendent who says that these resources have been added to the Woodlawn High School. But the family which you'll meet say it's not enough. And you'll also get to attend a press conference which may have the superintendent saying that more needs to get done. Please stay with us. Fighting in our schools is just very unacceptable. What is there to fight about? I mean, we get you go to school to learn and you end up going to the Jerry Springer show. That's how it is. You just you go to school to learn and then you end up on the Jerry Springer show. We don't go to school to fight. We go to school to learn. And the kids are like, well, they started it. When they started it. After this story, I'm going to play for you what one of our guests has told us from way back in 2020, which is 5 years ago. It's also going to be part of our second look this weekend. But I get, fights I get people want to fight nowadays, but back in the day it was like this is what we can do. Just go report, just go file a police report. That's how it was back in the day, Johnny beat up my child. There's nothing we can do. Just go file a police report. And the police report was filed, nothing was being done. But for one school you're about to visit and the superintendent which you're about to meet, the superintendent says they've had additional resources. But for the family which you'll meet tonight, they say that nothing is being done to prevent violence in our schools. So, what are those additional resources? And what does the superintendent have to say when it comes to violence in our schools? Here's Chris Papps.
Concerning Woodlawn High School, Project Baltimore attended this Baltimore County Public Schools press conference to speak with Superintendent Dr. Miriam Rogers about school violence.
What is your message to parents or students who say they don't feel safe in Woodlawn High School?
I would say my message is we all have a role to play in safety as a community.
Recent images coming out of Woodlawn High School, obtained by Fox 45, have been alarming. Troubling instances of violence breaking out in the school, while students like Morgan are just trying to graduate and get to college.
Are you scared to go to Woodlawn High School?
Yes.
You're literally scared to go to your school?
Yeah.
Morgan, in October,
yeah, it was right here in the front,
was viciously attacked in math class by a student who Morgan says she barely knew.
Looks like the microphone can't be used right now. Try again later.
The student in the video was the attacker, who's holding hair that was ripped out of Morgan's scalp. The family filed criminal charges, and in February, the student was convicted of second-degree assault in juvenile court. But even after that conviction, the attacker was back in Woodlawn, walking the halls with Morgan.
It's terrible. It really is terrible.
Are you nervous every day she goes to that school?
Every day. Every day.
It's because of parents like Teray Little, Morgan's mother, that we asked Dr. Rogers about Woodlawn's violence.
We are committed to educating the whole child.
Rogers explained BCPS has a code of conduct with clear expectations and consequences. But she said much of the time violence originates outside of the schoolhouse. This family says that was not the case with Morgan. But Dr. Rogers is calling on the community to be more proactive and inform the school regarding potential conflicts.
We encourage them to reach out directly to the school. The school does a great job, whether it's through the counselors or whether it's through the teachers or administration, of intervening when they have the information.
Rogers also said resources have been added to Woodlawn to help deal with the recent spike in violence exposed by Fox 45. Over the past 3 years, according to state data, Woodlawn has seen a 77% increase in student suspensions or expulsions for attacks, threats, or fighting.
We have put in the resources necessary and try to do everything that we can to be proactive. But when students make bad choices, we will respond to those choices immediately and swiftly according to our code of conduct.
There was nothing done for my child's safety whatsoever.
Since this family story first aired, Little has withdrawn her daughter from in-person learning at Woodlawn. Morgan will finish her senior year learning virtually.
And I want to do my graduation camp with you.
But there's also a bit of good news. The Randallstown chapter of the NAACP saw Morgan's story and reached out, asking the 18-year-old to apply for an NAACP college scholarship. The family told Project Baltimore the application has been submitted. Winners will be announced in May. Project Baltimore will keep you posted when Morgan hears back from the NAACP. We'll also keep you updated on any meaningful changes at Woodlawn High School intended to reduce student violence. I'm Chris Pabst, and this is Project Baltimore.
But is there any way to reduce violence in our schools? We thought we put them on the lock and key. We put them in. I mean, the juvenile court system is the key here. But here's the thing: this one judge that we talked about who put the child on probation and his probation last year, he's got to go. If he does the same thing for violent criminals, they'll be back in the classroom. It's just outrageous because we have drug dealers that walk the halls. We have rapists that walk the halls. Alcoholics who walk through the halls. Bullies who walk through the halls. Fights happen. Not just in the classroom. Like, we all know that bad things can happen in all of our schools. From guns, to drugs, to bullying. In every single video we see on the internet, every classroom is run amok. It is for great reason that more and more police want to be in hallways and classrooms. But in the climate of control behavior, it's not going too far. It's just helping out the district. And some schools in different states are implementing their own police departments. Like CCISD, Flower Bluff, and Tulsa Midway, just to name a few. They have their own police stations. They have their own officers, and they train with them. If for some reason you need an off-duty police officer, then so be it. They have an off-duty police officer that will come by and help. If in any situation it comes in. Like if a teacher gets assaulted by a student, then the teacher has the right to call the police, and it'll be up to the officer to go forward with the charge of an assault. That was back in Arizona from last year. But more should be done when it comes to violence in your schools. When we come back, I'm going to play for you a couple clips from Rob's rants all about school fights. And then we'll look at some body cam footage that relate to education. So please stay with us. Fights are something that all schools have no tolerance over. It can happen at school, outside of school, but once school's over, they don't have authority. If you remember the movie Fist Fight, where two teachers were fighting, it had nothing to do with students. It was all about two adults, two grown-ass men into a fight. But nothing could have been done about it. However, if it was during school hours, then administrators, counselors, and the police would get involved. But in the movie, the teacher called the police because he was being bullied by another teacher, because he got him fired. That's not what we're talking about. Yes, it can happen between teachers and students. Fights can escalate, crowds can happen, and we see all these videos on the internet. Take a look from Rob.
What's up, you wild pancakes? A huge requested rant, which is actually one of my old school rants I was planning on redoing anyway. High school fights. Because high school, I loved high school. Boy, what a shit time for almost everybody. Now you log on to Facebook and you see it everywhere. You see those vertical fight videos everywhere, like watch innocent teen get beat up in school lunch cafeteria. Very small teen beats up huge bully. Sometimes it's like, I get it, But remember when you were in high school and you heard about these things? The drama is the worst. So I heard because Derek, like, slept with Samantha that, like, Tom found out. And Tom, it's always, like, stupid gossip and everybody has the story wrong. I heard that he made fun of his sister who has Tourette's, and that's why he punched him first. Well, I heard he got sucker punched because of some Call of Duty argument. And you're sitting in class waiting for the stupid teacher to start like this. You got that dumbass girl who has no clue what's going on with the conversation that always has to butt in. Like, you know, there's two people gossiping here, and she goes, wait, what? What happened? Wait, what happened? And every time a fight breaks out outside in school or after school, it's always a huge crowd. A huge crowd of people have to gather around. My school, it never actually really happened while I was there. But if anything happened that drew that much attention, I was the one who just fucking called everybody an idiot as I walked around. I don't have time for that shit. That's the most important thing going on in my life, for me to stand there for 15 minutes and, like, see what drama is happening. I want to go home and sleep, take a nap, or eat some food. And there's always someone who wants to film it with their cell phone. That's why you see those vertical videos. And the one thing I fucking hate now is the people who taunt. Like, you know, it's like some bully or it's like some other kid, and it's always the same shit with the whole, oh, hit him, Derek. So some douchebag named Derek, right? No offense to y'all named Derek, but hit him, Derek. Damn. Hey, swing, Derek. Swing. World star. World star. You know, it's my 5 minutes of fame if this video blows up on Facebook, but that's why I want to have it. Oh, swing! And it's the same thing that goes for girls when girls fight, except it's more like, don't forget all the yelling in the background. Oh! It's usually always the lamest thing because no one in those videos actually know how to fight. Maybe you'll have that one kid who, like, takes off his shirt and is, like, trying to act all tough, but then as soon as, like, he engages the guy, he swings like this. It's always, like, drama that starts on Facebook then ends in a school fight. You would think people with a normal IQ wouldn't waste their time on that kind of bullshit because they usually get suspended for, like, 2 to 3 days. Then they have the nerve to come back in class and act like they're bragging about it, you know, like, did you see that fight I got in? Yeah, that's why I got suspended. And the story's always exaggerated, right? Some girl, like, pulls the hair of another girl, she gets, like, a little kick in or something like that, then the fight stopped. The rumors spread around, like, 30 different ways. Then when that expelled fighting girl comes back in class, she goes, I actually, like, broke her jaw. Her jaw was like this, okay, I fucked that bitch up. Shut the fuck up. You're a stupid high school teen. When you get older and when you get into the real world, you'll realize that you wasted your time, breath, and energy on useless shit. Then you'll realize, fuck, I'm pretty stupid.
You're pretty stupid. People go to school to learn, and you end up going to the Jerry Springer show. All this... People go to school to learn, and you end up going to the Jerry Springer show. It's like every time I would see a fight happen, I go, Jerry, 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 Jerry. We don't... Oh my God. People go to school to learn, you end up going to the Springer show. But it's like between girl fights and all that. Everything like get this. Every time I would see a fight happening, I always chant Jerry, 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 Jerry. And I want stupid person's all like going. I have a second video here somewhere. No. No, that was the only video I had. But it was on my flash drive. I don't know what I did with it. But the thing that people need to understand here is this is not the Jerry Springer show. If you want to fight, then go do it somewhere else. Go take it out in the fucking parking lot. I mean, try searching up school fights. Try looking up a school fight. Maybe something like this. My first school fight I've ever recorded.
Bro! Bro, hey! Get out of here, find me, boy! Stay down.
Now, this was staged. This was staged. This was fake. What if it was real? It would be caught on video. Think like this. This was filmed on. This is a video. I don't want to get demonetized. I was like, "Move out of the way, sir. There's a fight happening," and there was no fight. And we know who threw the first punch.
Today we're reacting to crazy.
And it's always in the movies. In the movies, you would see fights happening in the hallways, in the classrooms. In the hallways, in the classroom, in the cafeteria, on the school bus. And everyone films it, posts on social media, and everybody just like reacts to it. And everyone reacts to it, goes on Facebook, whatever. And nowadays it's just like, it's like this. It's like the Jerry Springer show. It's like, you talk about my girlfriend. You cheated on my girlfriend. You talked about my girl. You made fun of my sister who was Tourette's, or you talk shit about my mom. It's like, what you say about my mom? Let's go, dog. Let's go. And yeah, there's always someone who's done it for the first punch, and they sit there like, and like I said, sit there like, while they're in a fight, they're like taking off their shirts, going on like, yeah, I'm real tough now, buddy. You don't need to be fighting, period. There is no excuse for you to be fighting. What's there to fight about? You want to deal with that crap? Go home. Don't be wasting school time fighting, because it's going to lead you to getting in trouble. I witnessed a school fight, like I talked about. I witnessed the first school fight. Me and a friend were sitting in the cafeteria having some lunch, and I was staring up, looking all around, and all I hear was reaction. I go behind me, and it was like there was a fight happening, and yet security breaks it up. And my friend Samuel was like, I should have filmed it. And I'm like, can't do that. If you film and post it on YouTube, they're gonna come after you. They'll ask you to delete it. If you refuse to delete it, you can be in big trouble. And it's always in the movies. But what I want to do right now, here's one from 7 years ago. This is teachers getting into a brawl. This was about a teacher getting into a brawl. This was in Georgia, and it's different. Who even heard of this? This was a viral thing on TikTok with over 7.5 million views.
We don't go to school to fight. We go to school to learn.
They started it. You should have never started it. I don't play like that. That's not my game. I don't play games. I'm not about to play games with you guys. I let that start for like a couple of days. After those couple of days, that's it, bro. You better, if there's no sorry coming, or you beat it up, bro. You got.
We don't go to school to fight. We go to school to learn.
That's alright. But what I want to play for you right now is... Here's what I want to play for you. You know, 5 years ago, we dealt with bullying. And we had a special guest come on by the name of Eric, who created a Stop Bullying CCISD group. I want to have him come on to talk about the group. And not just that. I mean, you know, he's heard about the case of my friend Coastal Blue, whose child was being bullied. We talked about that, and he has some expressed opinions. I mean, there's racial bullying. We talked about bullying in every way. So, what I want to play for this one, I want to play for you. This was 5 years ago. So, here is when. This is when I was chubby. And this is when I was chubby. I gained 230 pounds. But now I'm feeling great as ever. Let's take a look. This, to the viewers, this is Eric. He created something that's called Stop Bullying CCISD. He's here for an exclusive interview. So you'll probably hear some of the explanations. So let me ask you, what inspired you to create this group on Facebook?
Well, it started back in 2018 with my little niece was bullied at South Park Middle School. At the time, the bureaucracy or the administration of CCISD were going this complaint going to the road. There was no enforced policy, or there was no enforced some of the bullying laws that were in place. They weren't being enforced. So we decided to protest outside of the South Park Middle School, and really nothing got done. So we started to go basically on a little tour around Corpus Christi, and we went to each school that had a hot spot, which we identified as a hot spot, and we protested. We signed a petition. Many parents signed the petition to stop the bullying, and then we created an online Facebook group called Stop Bullying at CCISD so that more parents can be together. We also added teachers, principals, administrators, community leaders, so that we all can come together as stakeholders to end bullying.
Yeah, right. As you know, part of the show, this show expresses my number one topic of education, because we have to give kids the best education they can get, besides and help them learn how to speak up and not be the victim, because bullying is just like unacceptable. And in the past. What were you going to say?
I said, that's right. I agree with you 100% on that.
And so, like in the past, I talked to the viewers about the article that happened with Crystal Gluth and her son. I mean, that got my attention because she was a former employer of mine who was a former general manager at McDonald's here in the Bluff.
Yeah, and you know, that was just a tragic incident that happened in our school district. And what happened was a little boy was in the restroom. Her son was in the restroom, and another kid came in, used the restroom, held him inside the bathroom stall. He was trying to get out. And what happened was when he was trying to get out, the door opened up, and his fingers were in between the door jamb and the door, and the kid kicked the door and ultimately chopping the tip of his finger off, and he left. So that kind of raised concerns of bullying in my perspective, and also mental illness.
I understand there were like 2 to 3 sides of every story. Did you find like the assistant principal, like I understand the assistant principal saying it was a different story from a different hallway, a different bathroom. Which side do you believe was to be true? The assistant principal's side, or Crystal Blue's side, or Crystal Blue's side?
Crystal Blue's side 2 times. I don't know what I was doing.
Called up to the school, and the assistant principal originally said, "Hey, this is just an accident. Your son was screaming here down at the school. They never called the ambulance or anything, and he was just basically bleeding out in the nurse's office, crying." To say that this is an accident is baseless. It doesn't have any type of ground to hear and say that this is an accident. When the little boy said as a witness to what happened to him, said that the little boy bullied him. And I took the side of Crystal Blue and her son, and we made a fuss about it, and we took it down to the city, to the Corpus Christi Independent School District to address the issue of bullying and some of the process and basic protocols that are not followed for children that are bullied to the extent of, getting your finger chopped off or, getting severely hurt in school.
Now I understand you went to the board meeting to hear all sides of the story from people who had been bullied before. Like, which part of were you at the board meeting that day?
Yes, I organized the event. I organized the event called Concerned Parents Against Bullying. And this was just actually the second incident that happened. We had another incident 2 weeks prior to that where I had to file a complaint with the Board of Education. I'm sorry, the Department of Education, because CCISD has let these complaints underneath the rug, and nothing's really being done. No enforced policies. There's just, it's kind of like a mess. But we organized it during that time, and right before we were going to do this at the board meeting, this happened with Crystal Bluth and her son at Glory Hicks Elementary. So it kind of inflated or sparked more interest of parents in coming on in and talking against bullying.
Now, as you didn't know, Wednesday I went to a meeting in Flower Bluff where Dr. David Freeman, the superintendent of Flower Bluff, is going to build a new police department, and he's very concerned about all of these things that are happening, from shooting to bullying. So what you can kind of compare for that is where CCISD has its own police department, to where, I don't want to get off topic here, but they're going to build their own. Florida's going to build their own police department, and you can kind of sympathize their way of the bullies not reporting, of the people who have been bullying not reporting this to police.
Yeah, I think that's a great thing coming from the Flower Bluff Independent School District. Originally, how I really actually got involved with the bullying was back in 2015, where my cousin committed suicide due to bullying. His name was Teddy Molina. They have a big shrine there in front of the Flower Bluff High School. He was bullied by what they called the Wolf Pack back in the day, and it was a terrible thing. He's been bullied actually since middle school, and it ultimately took the life of my own cousin, and that's what sparked me to get involved in criminal justice, get involved in bullying. And when I went to college, I made sure that I did everything I could to talk about bullying and in the future to come with what the issue is going to be today in 2020. This was back in 2015, 2014.
Were there any, what did Flower Bluff do back in 2015 to help you out with your son that was bullied here in the Bluff?
It wasn't my son, it was my cousin.
I mean, your cousin, sorry, your cousin.
Yeah. Right, yeah, and they didn't do anything. They brushed it underneath the rug from some of the hearsay or some of the advice from other students were saying that, hey, the people that were bullying Teddy Molina were part of the football team, and the football team was actually their first time going to the state championship. They were going to a state championship game, and they didn't want to make a big fuss against the football team because they would have ultimately been expelled or ultimately been suspended, and it got brushed underneath the rug over there as well.
Right. And as you know, part of the show, I created a campaign called Speak Up, meaning to help kids learn how to speak up when they're being bullied, when victims are being bullied and stuff. And I understand what you're saying, that these incidents can happen when we need to teach children how to speak up, and we have to train it. We have to train educators and administrators how to tell children to speak up. So I think if you and I can, so I think if the show and you and me can like express some of these feelings, some of the issues that we talked about, that I talked about in the show, and what you told me about, maybe we can help out and work together.
So, I mean, if kids are, have a problem speaking up and telling their parents, that they're being bullied at school, I think that they need to find somebody who they can trust, either their parents, or grandma, or grandpa, a teacher that they can really trust, so that this issue at school can be eliminated. And it's very hard for children to trust somebody, and I think trust is probably the biggest foundation that we have to build bullying on. We have to trust one another that, hey, if I tell you that I'm being bullied, are you going to do something about it?
Yeah, because we've
deteriorated this trust in CCID because kids are saying, hey, I'm being bullied, and nothing's being done about it. So it becomes a normal thing when actually it's an abnormal thing. I mean, not to sit here and say that I wasn't unscathed in middle school, but I got punched, I got talked about bad, verbally, physically, and emotionally. And now we're seeing a bigger thing going on. We're seeing cyberbullying. And cyberbullying is probably one of the worst category of bullying that can happen to a child, because people can make a fake profile on social media and talk bad about you.
Yeah, I think the big advice would be for all parents listening at home is for you guys to unplug. Don't just like unplug your phones and stuff. Just unplug this stuff. Like if someone calls you saying, "I want you to die," if someone like, at the mid says, "I want you to," you hang up. That's it. You unplug.
Right. We got to raise awareness of these social media apps that a lot of kids are getting involved in, like Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram. Just yesterday I seen a Instagram page where it's called Hoss Fight, HAAS Fight, and it's nothing but fights that are happening in restrooms at Hoss Middle School. I mean, there's about 50 different videos of different kids fighting in these restrooms. Where are the teachers? Where are the principals? Where are the administrators?
No one's there because
no one's there.
No cameras are there because no one wants to. No cameras are there because no one wants to be peeping in the bathroom. We need to put cameras outside the bathroom where they won't look into the stalls. And if students have a problem with that, well, we need to address these to every school district everywhere.
I honestly think that we need to take off the doors in these restrooms in school, but that's just my opinion.
We'll just put the cameras at the doors.
There'll be cameras at the door for sure, but I mean, take off the doors. These doors shut and they're enclosed. You can't hear what's going on inside them. I mean, you're hearing bodies rumbling in there, and you can't hear it if you're in the classroom waiting for the next period to start.
Right. And as you know, I've been a victim of bullying myself. I mean, back in like 6th grade, some girl named Sheila picked on me, which she said it was just a joke. I don't take bullying, let me say something at home. I do not take bullying as a joke. I take this seriously. And if you watch Dr. Phil, I tell you something. Dr. Phil takes this bullying very seriously. I take what was done very seriously. I take this show very seriously. I take all these topics very seriously.
Yeah, I mean, kids, we send our kids to go get educated, not to learn how to fight. And I hear a lot of people saying, hey, let's put our kids into martial art classes. Well, you're trying to stop violence in school, and you're teaching your kids how to fight. I mean, literally, what are we doing to these kids? We send our kids, we bathe them, we give them shelter, we give them clothing on their back, and then we send them off to CCISD to go get an education.
What I've said part of this, that's why I'm going to stop right here. Eric said this completely, and he was right. We said, it's like the parents, here's the thing though. Parenting is an equal partnership. It doesn't have to be like, mom's the nurturer and dad's the protector. When kids go to school and they're being afraid to go to school because they're being bullied, you know what the dads do? They spend their hard-earned fucking money to put them in fucking martial arts and train them to fight. You cannot be doing that. What's wrong with these people? What's wrong with you dads out there? I mean, my dad never taught me to fight. If my dad ever taught me to fight, it would end badly. It would end like that scene from King of the Hill where Bobby just kicked people in the balls. That's how it would be. But in all seriousness, we have to make sure that no fathers are teaching our children to fight. It's like that previous video said, we don't go to school to fight. We go to school to learn. We don't ever be doing that crap. That shit, no. I mean, parents are signing their children up for martial arts, karate, all that stuff to help defend. And the child fights the student fights another student, he gets detention, the dad's all proud, let's go get some ice cream. That's how it is, Dad puts him up to fight, dad teaches him how to fight, he repeats that at school, he gets in trouble, mom's all like, wait till your dad gets home. They'd be like, hey son, your mom does tell me you get into a fight today. Why you not telling me? I know. Your mom very upset with you. What, you think you're the Jackie Chan, huh? Did you win? That's my boy. A father can be more proud of his son. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. I'm going to play a few more of this clip. The show is I would recommend to them go
school and you're teaching your kids how to fight. Let's put our kids into martial art class. Well, you're trying to stop.
And fighting is just not a way to solve the problems. I mean, look, words can hurt. I mean, look, we have principals, we have superintendents, we have school counselors, we have school resource officers, we have school social workers that can help you out. But the parents are like, nope, I'm going to spend $50 of my fucking paycheck to put my child in fucking martial arts. I don't give a shit if my child gets suspended. No one lays their hands on my baby boy. And I'll tell you, in all my years, I have never started a school fight. My mom never paid for karate classes. My mom didn't pay for martial arts classes. My dad never taught me to fight. I was a good old boy in school. I never started a fight, but if I did, I would sure as hell end it. And I take bullying very seriously. Y'all know, throughout me talking about this broadcast, I always say, stop bullying, speak up. That led me to create a group called Stop Bullying, Speak Up on Facebook, where you can share your story of how you are being bullied. And in this case, what I want to do tonight is share with you a story about someone who has been bullied. She used to be a teacher in Flower Bluff. She used to be a teacher in Flower Bluff, but with all the changes, she used to be a French teacher here in Flower Bluff. And this is by the name of Genevieve. She says that she was being bullied. Let me read to you what she said to me. This is what she said. I was bullied by students from August 2022 to January 2023. That was the hardest of being bullied. But God fought my battle and God gave me the victory as God enjoys to help us overcome by the will of our testimony and by the blood of the Lamb. Jesus is the answer to all our problems, including bullying. And you know, I believe she's exactly right. You know, and what Eric said back 5 years ago, why are parents nowadays enrolling their kids in martial arts and karate when all of a sudden the school's not going to want to do anything? It's like, oh, well, the school's not going to do anything? Well, I'm going to go fucking sign my kid up for karate and have them, and teach them how to fight. Put them on YMCA. If you missed, let me play you again. Seriously, I take all these topics very seriously.
Yeah, I mean, kids, we send our kids to go get educated, not to learn how to fight. And I hear a lot of people saying, hey, let's put our kids into martial art classes. Well, you're trying to stop violence at school, and you're teaching your kids how to fight.
This is my advice to you parents out there. Don't put your kids in martial arts classes. Forget them. If your child's being bullied, do not have them. If they ask you, I want to learn how to fight, you tell them, no. I do not want you getting in trouble. I don't want you getting expelled, and I don't want you ending up in the principal's office, and I don't want to have to punish you. But the dad is like very proud but fathers are very proud when, you know, they win the fight. Like, you know, did you win? Yes, I did. I gave him the old 1-2. That's my boy. I went to school. I never started a school fight. My mom never paid for my karate classes. My mom didn't take me to...
What can I open for you? Looks like the microphone can't be used right now. Try again later.
I gotta turn it off ahead of time. Like I said before, my mom never paid for martial arts classes. My dad never taught me to fight. But like I said, if my dad taught me to fight, this how it would end, with a kick in the nuts. That's exactly how it would end. I'm not starting a fight, but I'll finish it. If I start a fight, it'll be finished. I don't fight, but I don't threaten. I don't fight. I act. If there's any parents out there that sit there and tell me that, oh, I signed my child up for karate classes. You're gonna use that crap on school property? That's going to get your child in a lot of trouble, and you're going to end up paying the piper. But the thing I'm trying to say here is this. I mean, look at this. Bullying. We have done episodes all about bullying. I mean, if you're a victim of, bullying. We've done a lot of shows all about bullying, and so far, all the parents are doing nowadays is just signing their kids up for martial arts, karate classes, and thinking to themselves that's a way to solve the problems. Violence is never the answer. There is always principals, assistant principals, administrators, and counselors, and also school social workers that are there to help you out. When you go to truancy court, it's like, what's the problem? I'm being bullied. And you tell the judge that, and it's like, okay, do you think you're smart? Yes, I am, Judge. Look at my grades. The thing that you have to understand here is this. The fact of the matter is this. If parents out there, listen, if you want to teach your kids how to fight, I have no problem with it. But tell them, don't do it at school. Don't ever fight at school. It is wrong. It is unacceptable. Nobody should be fighting on school property. This isn't the Jerry Springer show. Speaking of which, there could be more bullying stories than we ever could imagine. And as you know, I take bullying very seriously. and schools just kind of sweep it under the carpet and say we don't care. But Dr. Phil takes bullying very seriously. Just try looking up Dr. Phil bullying on YouTube. And it would be a full episode all about school bullying. But here's some advice from Dr. Phil all about bullying. And I want you to take a listen.
I have a question.
If I were you, I'd be all over that shit.
They said earning any degree would keep me in demand, but some degrees are more valuable than others. A cybersecurity degree is sought after, as there were over 3.5 million unfilled cyber...
It changed my entire life, because I basically had to start over at my new school, which is really hard, meeting all new people and trying to fit in again. And even on the first day, I didn't know that the girls, I guess, and the people that were involved in it sent the video to my new school, and they were watching it in the bathroom, and it's just embarrassing.
I'm surprised that that's the first word that you use to describe it. Embarrassment means shame to me. Why is that a relevant concept here?
I feel ashamed of what happened to me.
But did you feel like you did anything wrong?
No, I don't.
You weren't embarrassed that you didn't do something you should have done. You were embarrassed that you had been put on display in such a mean and unbecoming way. And the big problem about, like, being bullied is that the bullies might say something to you like 30 times, but you repeat it 10,000 times. It isn't what they say, it's what you say to yourself about what they say. It's this internal dialogue you have, what you say to yourself about what happened. And you've got to take your power back. Hannah, do you hear what I'm saying?
That I can control how I feel about it?
It's not that you can, you do. Look, if you've got somebody that's bullying you, like both of you got jumped on, you took steps, you reported, you said the right things, you did the right things, and you still got attacked, right? Is that fair? No way it's fair. When you go to somebody in authority and you tell them what's going on, that's not tattling. You did the right things, Lily. You did the right things, and you still got attacked. The question is, what do you do when that unfair thing happens to you? Do you let that define you? Or you can say, well, wait a minute. I got to be my own best friend here. I have the power to choose how I feel about this. I'm not going to be embarrassed. I'm not going to be traumatized for the rest of my life. Behaviors have a beginning and an end. You two got attacked, lasted a few minutes, right? How long's it been?
Over a year, few months.
And you're still affected by it today, right? You have not given yourself permission to get past it. You've not given yourself permission to say, I encountered some sick people, some small people, some petty people, some jealous people. I want you to change choices. You're already choosing how you feel about it. If this is brought up to you, what you gonna say about it? Aren't you that girl that got beat up on the tape? Yeah, it was one of the worst times of my life. Did you have a question about it? Oh, you know what's gonna happen? They're gonna go, oh, no, I guess I don't. This isn't something where time heals all wounds. Time heals nothing. It's what you do with that time, okay? What I want you to do is 5 years from now, I want you to look back and say, that event became the springboard for me being tough, focused, and able to help other people move along.
But most of the times, when it comes to bullying, and the bullies say, well, I didn't do it, you know when the spotlight turns? Now on the bullies, the spotlight turns right back on the victims. And this week in our second look, we're going to take a second look into a case that involved the victims getting blamed. The victims say they're being bullied, but you'll be shocked to hear what the principal had to say. The principal said, we can't guarantee your safety, go home. Here's some more advice about dealing with bullies.
I think you had good intentions go bad. I think ridiculing a student or allowing a student to be ridiculed in front of others bothers me, because I think psychological wounds heal much slower than physical wounds sometimes. And, you know, I have been invited to Washington, D.C. to testify before a congressional committee about bullying and about the re-empowerment of the Elementary and Secondary Education Act. And I talked about bullying and cyberbullying at the time. And I think we have to set really good examples. And one of the things I said in that testimony was that we don't need to punish bullies, we need to treat them. Because bullies come from bullying homes. Bullies come from bad role models. Bullies come from insecurity and a false sense of superiority. Punishing them just makes them more angry and they find another target. They need to be treated, not punished. And I think that you had good intentions and made what I think you would agree was a bad decision at the time. But what I hate is for anyone or any teacher to have their entire career painted by an isolated incident. And I fear that's what happens in the media storm, where in this day and time, we have a media machine that is so hungry for the 30-minute news cycle that anything and everything gets blown up into news. And I just think that's bad. So my bottom line is, I think you made a bad decision the day you talked about that child in front of your students, and I hope you don't do that anymore. I think that what happened with the student in class is very suspect about where on the continuum it was, and we need good and dedicated teachers. I suspect this has been a painful lesson to you, and I hope we see you back in the classroom, because I think your heart's in the right place.
Every decision that you make has consequences, good or bad. When you choose the behavior, you choose the consequences. That's the whole key. There's another one.
If your child is a victim of bullying, there are some things that you as a parent can do to help. First off, you really need to empower your children. Talk to them about who they are as a person. Talk to them about their worth, their skills, their abilities, the things that make them uniquely special. Talk to them about being assertive. Let them know that they have the right to stand up for themselves and to stand in their own power. Call the bully's parents. Be sure that they know what's happening. Don't feel that you're just going to make the situation worse. Don't call them with your hair on fire, making accusations. Partner with them so the two of you as parents can resolve the situation. Be involved. This is not a time to say, hey, children will be children. Partner with your child, again, calmly and working through your child, but don't let them feel lonely at this time in their life. Speak with your child's teachers to make sure there's an attitude that bullying will not be tolerated. And remember, they don't always know what's going on. These are dedicated professionals. Look, they're not doing this for the money. They're doing it because they care. They're there to help your children. Partner with them. Co-opt them as someone that can really help you. They care about your children or they wouldn't be there. Don't make accusations, make friends.
That's good. Don't make accusations, make friends. Don't accuse them of saying, well, you bullied my child. You caught my hair's on fire because you picked on my child. No. Be friends with them and say, hey, I want to talk to you about what you did. We're dealing with, now, like I talked about, when I talked with Eric about You know, the whole bullying thing, CCISD, you know, he made a good point. Parents nowadays are citing their kids for martial arts because that's what the kids want. You know, you the parent who's a victim of the child, and the bully's parent need to come together and stick together and just say, look, don't ever do this again. Get along. You know the old saying that kids will be kids? That crap's not there anymore. You know? What I hear nowadays is when this is what I hear nowadays. What I hear nowadays is just the bullies' parents acting like victims, when in fact the bullies just defend. I mean, it's like the bully just comes to the parents and says, Mom, you gotta help me, please. Just like they like role play situation. It's like, my sweet little Timmy would never ever pick on you. Don't believe him. I mean, if you know, it's where bullied was from. Bullies come from bullied homes, you know, the bullied parents. I mean, that's where bullying comes from, is the home. Because really, it's like, that's where it's coming from. Because, literally, it's coming from the home. It shouldn't be a silent academic. Here's some more advice, and then we're going to take a break.
This is from Lana. What's the worst mistake parents make when their child is getting bullied? What advice can you give to all parents today who face the same problem with their kids?
When you're being bullied, that is one of the loneliest times in a child's life, because the number one tool of the abuser is isolation. They isolate your child, and if they're isolated from you because you don't get involved, or because they're too ashamed to tell you because they don't want you thinking that people don't like them, so they hide it from you, then they can become very, very alone, and you don't want to leave your child alone when they're under attack. Secondly, don't run up the stairs of the schoolhouse with your hair on fire, yelling and screaming at the teachers. They're on your side. Bullies are smart. They don't do this in front of the teachers. They do it when they're not there. They do it behind the building. They do it in the halls. They do it on the internet at night. So they don't do it where the teachers can see them. The teachers are on your side. They want to help. So enlist their aid. Don't accuse them of being in this with the bullies. And then talk to your child and let them know that telling is not tattling. They need to have an adult that they can go to for help.
That's right. Tattling is not telling. And as you know, I take bullying very seriously. Like I said before, I created Stop Bullying Speak Up on Facebook, which was inspired by Cartoon Network. Being a bully is just unacceptable, but being the victim is just plain not cool. If you're standing by, get help. And telling is not tattling. If you tell on somebody, you are a hero. You have somebody to go to. You have what us autistics call a mentor. Without that mentor, you don't have that help. Your mentor has simply failed you. If you take these advices, if you take these steps, you, as a parent, you can help out your child, and you can let them know that my child is very special in his or her own way. And look, like I said before, we don't need to be parents. If you want to sign up your kids for karate classes and all, there's no problem. No problem with that at all. Just tell them, don't be taking that shit at that school. I don't want to get phone calls. I don't want to leave work. I don't want to get out of work to get you out of it. You fight in school, you're done. We don't go to school to fight. We go to school to learn. That's the message. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Here's a final thought to keep it short. We don't go to school to fight. We go to school to learn. Don't ever teach your kids how to fight. You want to teach kids how to fight? Then go right ahead. But don't have to do that at the school. It's going to get them into trouble. Use it to make them proud. But the mom's going to be sitting there saying, you're grounded. Here's an example from Vin.
Tonight, Alicia went to 4 engagement parties.
Hey son, your mom just tell me you get into a fight today. I've been getting bullied for an entire year and I just cracked. I'm sorry. Why you not tell me? I did tell you. I know. Your mom very upset with you. What, you think you the Jackie Chan, huh? I am very upset with you. Did you win? Yeah, I did. I knocked him out. Yes, good job. You naughty boy. Fucking my uncle me. Mom made fun. No dinner for you. What? I buy for you the McDonald's. Really? You need to be more angry at me. Oh yeah, true. Why are you doing this to me? He deserved that. Good. What? You want to talk back to me, huh, boy? Wait, what are you doing? Fighting. It's not good. You need to get hurt. Ow! What the fuck? Oh shit! Run!
That's what can happen to you when you're being bullied. So if you take some advice that we talked about, you too can be the hero. You too can teach other children that they are special in his or her own way. That's not just something from Barney the dinosaur. That's something that comes from the heart. Use your words from the heart. It comes from the heart, and if you use the words from your heart, maybe then you can inspire others to help you out when it comes to being bullied. For more information about how to stop bullying, speak up, you can visit the Stop Bullying Speak Up on Facebook. Just go to facebook.com, keyword Stop Bullying Speak Up. For more information about how you can handle bullies, you can visit our newsletter at givemeabreak.substack.com with some videos, the episodes that we did, and some advice for parents and kids out there who have been bullied, as well as some other videos on the Give Me a Break playlist about what you can do to stop bullying. Let's face it, we have to stop the bullying and teach kids how to speak up. We don't need parents out there teaching their kids how to fight. This is the message. Stop bullying, speak up. That's all for this edition of Give Me a Break Wednesday. We'll see you again for Give Me a Break Friday. For all of us here at YouTube and Give Me a Break, I always say this. Stop bullying, speak up. Concentration, not strength. No jaywalking. Have a great night. And take care of yourself and each other.